ready to begin our coverage of boxing this evening. We're going to join Skip Carey and Paul Horning for coverage of the lightweight division. Romallis Ellis from the United States will be fighting Jose Luis Perez of Venezuela. Ellis, a hard puncher. Perez is from Venezuela, and Venezuela produces the best fighters out of South America. Could be good. I do know one thing. The matchup with Carey and Horning is always interesting. Let's go.
Paul Horning, Skip Carey back with you at the boxing venue at the Goodwill Games. Another U.S. fighter is about to have at it. Romallis Ellis, his first fight of the tournament, and he'll be meeting a Venezuelan, Jose Luis Perez.
And as is the custom of all the USA boxers here, they come over before the fight starts and hand their opponent a little American flag. It's a nice little gesture, and everybody seems to like it.
And they hope that their opponent doesn't take it and try to poke out their eye before they get back to their side of the ring. These are lightweights, 132-pound limit. Your official, Yuri Frolov from the USSR, and he calls the fighters to the middle of the ring. And here we go. Roosevelt Saunders, the coach of the U.S. team. And we're underway, or will be momentarily.
This is Jose Luis Perez of Venezuela, 22 years old, against Romallis Ellis. He's only 20 from Decatur.
Decatur, GA. Ellis, a southpaw. Scoring with a jab.
He's a little taller. He grew up in Washington, D.C. before moving to Decatur.
He scored with a left to the head.
He's supposed to have a good left jab. I mean, a left hook. But in talking to the coach, Roosevelt Sanders, he says he doesn't stay busy enough for amateur boxing. We've got to get him quicker and throw more punches. And so far, you can see both fighters a little bit tentative.
Ellis, however, has been the aggressor here in the early going. Perez fights off the ropes with a solid right. Left to the body, right to the body. Left hook lands for Ellis.
Boxing team has done pretty good starting off here the first 3 days of boxing. And actually, their record is 10 wins and 6 losses so far, so we haven't had all of the boxers have their first match yet. We've had 23 boxers in this competition.
Ellis has the better of it here, in my humble opinion, in the early going. That left missed by the Venezuelan boxer. Ellis lands with a left and a right to the head.
Winner of the round, 20-point must system. Most of the rounds are scored 20-19. Very seldom is it 20-18.
There's a good right hand to the body by Perez, who appears to be the crowd favorite here, but Ellis bounces back. The southpaw jabbing away. Minute 5 left in round 1. Boy, Perez leaves the body wide open, but Ellis hasn't ventured into that territory much yet. Perez getting a little more aggressive as the round progresses.
Well, just the mere fact that we're here, Skip, it's just a normal attitude. You don't want to have to be in a close fight. You don't want to have it to leave it up to the judges in a close fight. So you really got to pour on the amount of punches and try to get ahead here. Make it safe. Because I don't think we're going to get too many breaks, right?
Wouldn't think. 15 seconds left. Ellis with a right hand.
Slow first round. Not much action.
Right hand by Perez. Landed. Left by Perez was on the mark. And the first round is history. We'll be back at the boxing venue right after this. We gave the first round to Romallis Ellis. He's the U.S. fighter in the dark trunks against Jose Luis Perez of Venezuela.
And I tell you, Skip, not to take anything away from that first round, he's got to get busier. And I'm sure that's what he was told. We were told by the coaches that we've got to keep this kid on his toes and keep throwing punches, and that's the main thing in international boxing. He's been to Australia and Indonesia in tournaments, so he's not inexperienced.
Left hand lands by Ellis, and another. Ellis crowds him into the corner, but Perez fights his way out. Lands a right, does Jose Luis Perez. The jab lands for Ellis. So does another one.
Earlier today, Skip, Michael Moore made an impressive debut for the United States, won a first-round KO. Knocked him cold right in the first round. That's the first knockout in the first round we've had in the whole tournament.
Ellis still the aggressor here, banging away at Perez. Has him a little hurt on the rope, but Perez spins out of danger.
Scored some points, though. Again, the white part of those gloves, you must. More
Ellis
punches, not the strength of the punch that really counts.
Ellis throwing by far the most punches here.
You got to score with. You can score with 40% of your punches. They say that's a fine average.
Yuri Frolov of the USSR, our referee. There's a good left hand and a good right by Ellis. He's had a much better second round than he did at first. And he rocked him there with a right hand.
Venezuela has not been doing too good in the tournament so far. Most of their boxers have lost. Luis Perez here is 22 years old. He was third at the 1986 Central American Championship.
Ellis with another good left jab.
Well, being aggressive is so important in international boxing. If it's close, you can almost say that a more aggressive fighter is going to get the decision.
Ellis won that exchange, and they're having at it pretty good here. Good right to the body by Perez. 20 seconds left in round two. It's been a good fight.
And Tuesday, another USA boxer, Arthur Johnson, will fight David Greenman. Now, he is not inexperienced of Venezuela. That's the semis on Tuesday. It should be a great fight.
Round two is winding down, and we'll be back with the third and final round right after this. And from the U.S., Romallis Ellis in the dark trunks, Jose Luis Perez from Venezuela in the red boxing shorts. A lot of leather has been exchanged here, but Ellis appears to be holding a commanding lead. He has a height advantage, and he's throwing a little more leather.
And I'm just sitting here thinking when you said that, Skip, that the majority of the fighters who've had that height advantage have gone on to win. I can't think of maybe two occasions, more than two occasions, that the smaller boxer won in height.
Frolov issues a warning to Perez, caution to Perez. The only guy, I guess the only smaller boxer who won consistently was Rocky Marciano.
That's right.
What was he saying? Ellis continues to whack away here. As Paul mentioned briefly before, the velocity of the punch is not taken into consideration. It's the amount of clean blows landed. That would appear to be, to us, to be Ellis, but we are, of course, not impartial. Good left to the body dug in there by Romallis Ellis. Right to the body is scored by Jose Luis Perez. Minute 25 left. Good left hand by Ellis. Right jab got through. Then one is blocked. The exchange blows in the center of the ring. Good flurry there for Jose Luis Perez.
It's a lightweight match, 132, 60 kilograms.
1 minute of boxing left for these two tonight.
Very important for him to stay busy now in this last minute.
Right to the body was landed by Perez, who may be having his best round.
Of course, when the referee says stop, the clock also stops until they resume.
40 seconds remaining. Ellis lands a couple of lefts, takes a right to the body. Perez with a right to the body. Right uppercut for Perez. Third round is, oh, there's a good left for Romallis Ellis.
Another one.
He rocked him there, got him again and again. All with the left hand. This Perez, the little guy's got a lot of courage. He keeps coming.
Now they're starting to grow.
The fight is over. Best round of the 3 for Jose Luis Perez. I don't know about this one. We'll be back to see how the judges view it right after this.
We'll return with
Yuri Frolov. He has nothing to do with judging the fight. There are 5 judges who do that.
3 Eastern Bloc countries, and it's 5-0 for Ellis. Unanimous by the judges, 5-0, as Romallis Ellis, Skip, moves on.
I was a little scared about the way the third round went, but he had piled up enough points in the first 2 to win the bout. And we'll be back from the Olympic boxing venue.